Hello everyone, welcome to the Ozark Outpost. This is Global War 85, Operation Escobar, U.S. Global Command 14.4. Okay. Nothing to repair, so tech. The Americans are only doing 3 this time because they've run out of stuff. They've run out of stuff they want to research. I mean, they could have done Caterpillar Drive, but they're not going to. So AMD, Advanced SLBM, and Chemical. Advanced SLBM, yes, still 14 turns, 14 rolls, and they still have not completed AMD. An Advanced SLBM is complete. Well, their PSYOP is set for this turn anyway, so that doesn't matter for this turn. Okay. No global operations. The Americans can retaliate with 5 counter value strikes. So, military aid. The only one they're given to this time is NATO. They're spending 9 on an advanced ASF and a frigate. Regular purchase. 8 on a pair of MBTs, 8 more on 2 self-propelled artillery. What is that? 12 on an advanced ASF and an A10. 10 on 2 more ASFs. 4 on an SSBN. 10 more on 2 attack choppers. Verifying. 7 or 6 on a fighter and 3 on an airborne. Okay, and then they're producing 5 cruise missiles, 3 anti-ship missiles. Okay, combat movement. The United States is declaring war on Afghanistan, Congo, and Mozambique. They have all offended American sensibilities and will no longer be tolerated. So, Congo, the 2 Marines from Benin get picked up by the amphibious assault on Congo, where there is the lone paramilitary, and then the fighter comes in from the amphib to support. Okay, then here in Mozambique, since these guys kind of got stuck here anyway because the Soviets keep hanging around blocking their sea lift path, they're just gonna 3 next-gen MBTs and 3 MBTs are just gonna come over here and try to romp and stomp on the Mozambicans so that Warsaw Pact can quit trying to roll diplomacy for them. And then up here, in Afghanistan, we've got two A-10s attacking from South Pakistan. Along with an air cav, a light infantry, two next-gen MBTs, two fighters, and then from North Pakistan, we've got an attack chopper and two MBTs. And the two airborne from New Delhi are going to join in the attack in airborne assault. Okay, so that's those three battles. Congo, Mozambique, Afghanistan. Okay. Now, the B-1 in New Delhi here is going to fly, since they're at war with Afghanistan now, and that aligned to the Soviets as soon as war was declared, we can overfly that now. So the B-1 from New Delhi is going to fly 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no SAMs in his path. He's coming over here, and he is going to do a nuclear facility strike on that minor army base under construction in western Kazakhstan. Okay, I'm going in order here. I may jump around, but I'm going to go in order because I got a bunch of combats. Okay, so the next thing is going to be a surgical strike in Tehran. Down here in I-6 on the supercarrier, we've got two attack bombers. So they're going to fly 1, 2, 3 up here to drop battlefield nukes in surgical strike. Also coming from the supercarrier, two Top Gun ASFs are going to escort, since there are some fighters there that can scramble. And then from Diego Garcia, this B-52 is going to fly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to come up here and carpet bomb Tehran. Okay. And the Soviets could scramble the fighter and one early gen. That's a 3 and a 2 rolling against a pair of 7s. But they're going to do it. The Soviets are going to scramble. Okay, next. As I said, we're going to jump around a little bit, but we'll be all right. So next, the B-1 in Lazio is going to fly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He doesn't have any SAMs in his path. So he's coming over there to do a nuclear facility strike on the major army base in Romania. Okay, then we're going to come over here just because we can. Shoot a cruise missile into the Canary Islands, surgical strike. Shoot a cruise missile into the Azores, surgical strike. As I said, just because we can. Okay, then next, we're going to come up north here. The B-52 from southern England is going to fly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's coming over here to carpet bomb Murmansk. There's a field artillery and 2 paramilitaries there that he has decided to carpet bomb. The B-1 from the Joint Air Base in Iceland is going to fly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No SAMs in his path, so no ECM rolls. He's going to come over here and attack the space launch facility in northern Russia again to try to finish it off. Now, even though it's damaged, it will still have the 2 inherent SAMs rolling air defense. Okay, then we're back down this way again. Oh, I think I can do it from here. The fleet here in M10 has 2 attack bombers. So they're going to fly 1, 2 in here to do a battlefield nuke surgical strike on eastern Ukraine. There are 2 fighters with that fleet as well that are coming ashore to run a seed mission on this SAM if it chooses air defense. They could have a potential scramble there. So there's a Top Gun ASF and an ASF also coming ashore for escort, and the 2 cruisers in M10 are each shooting a cruise missile, 1, 2 in here. The destroyer in M11 is shooting a 3rd cruise missile in here as part of the surgical strike. Okay, then we've got 3 SSNs here in M10 that can shoot cruise missiles, so they can also shoot theater nuclear cruise missiles. So one of them is going to shoot one of those over here. Wait a minute. Can he reach? Let me double check this. I may have miscalculated the range. Okay, it has a basic range of 1, long range missiles +1. There's no GLCM because it's being fired by a submarine, so it only has a range of 2. So I don't think that's going to work. It could work. If the submarine's combat moved up to M11, the Soviet SSNs are on silent running. The ASW chopper is ashore, so they would just have to survive SOSUS defense. So that'll still work. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So this is what is happening. These guys, as I just said, they're going to combat move from M10 to M11. Excuse me. Then they're shooting the missiles. So 1, 2, targeting the air base in Volgograd. 1, 2, targeting the army base in southern Caucasia. And 1, 2, targeting the army base over here in Hungary. So that's 3 nuclear cruise missile shots. I got to consult the notes again to see where we're going next. That's that. Okay, the only thing we have left is, well, we have two things left. One here, the Joint Air Base in southern England shoots 1, 2, 3, 4 nuclear, a theater nuclear cruise missile targeting the major army base in East Germany. And then that brings us to our strategic attack. The Americans have decided to shoot 5 SLBMs. They're advanced SLBMs now, but they're still doing counter value. 5 SLBMs at Warsaw Pact. The reason they're choosing to shoot them at Warsaw Pact is that they have not completed advanced sonar the Soviets have. So there'll just be one strategic defense die per missile, rather than the 2 defense shots the Soviets would get. And that is it for combat movement. So, since we came back over here, to make sure I don't get lost and make mistakes, I'm going to go in order from my notes again. So we may be jumping around a little bit. So we're going to start with Congo. That's 2 Marines and a fighter against a paramilitary. 2 Marines. 2 Marines, fighter, paramilitary. Okay, the fighter got a hit, the paramilitary missed. So land battle star for the Americans. That guy comes off. Roundel on there, and there we go. Next one will be Mozambique. We got 3 next gens, 3 MBTs. So MBTs will be white, next gens will be blue. Well, there's 3 hits by the next gens, and that is what is needed because they've got 2 early gen MBTs and an early gen fighter. So they are wiped out. So 2 early gen MBTs and an early gen fighter, and they all missed. 2 11s and a 6. So there's another land battle star for the Americans. These guys come off here. The Warsaw Pact ministers are crying in their tea. These guys over here. Those guys about there. Get the roundel on there. There we go. Okay, now we come up to Afghanistan. There's just 2 MBTs defending. It is, wait a minute. All right, the river penalty didn't matter. That was 3s and 2s, so those were still good hits by the next gen MBTs. The river didn't matter. Mountain terrain in Afghanistan. So we are going to have, let's start out with two next gen MBTs and two fighters. The fighters are blue, next gen MBTs are orange. Next gen MBTs are blue, fighters are orange. So there is one hit. Now we have two A10s. There's a second hit, and that is what is needed. They've just got two defenders. So two MBTs defend, and they get one hit. So there's another land battle star for the Americans. These guys come off. Get around on. There we go. Uh-oh. We upset a Pakistani gunship. Okay, next we're going to have the B-1 strike in western Kazakhstan. So that is a minor army base under construction. So one inherent SAM. That misses. 2d6. And there's 7 damage. It's going to have to be repaired before they can complete that construction. Seven damage. All right, next we have the surgical strike on Tehran. And we said Tehran did elect to scramble a fighter and an early gen fighter. So Soviet fighter is blue, early gen fighter is yellow. Okay, they both miss. Two Top Gun ASFs. One of them hits with a 1, and then the attack bombers intercept at 2, I believe. Yeah. The attack bombers intercept at 2. That's a miss. Strategic bomber no longer intercepts. Okay, so 1, the intercepting early gen fighter is shot down. That'll be an air battle star for the Americans. Okay, now we have the B-52 carpet bombing. And he got 1 hit. Let me check and make sure. I think it's just jungle that affects carpet bombing, but let me be absolutely sure. Yeah. No combat penalty there. So there is 1 hit. 1 hit on a 2. And now there are 2 attack bombers, 6 dice, at 4 because the American spy sat is out of commission this turn. Ooh, look at that. There's 4 hits. And surgical strike, 1s are land target selects, if that's going to matter. So we've got 2 land target selects and 3 general hits. And, well, we had 5 hits total. It doesn't matter because they've only got 4 land units. So 2 next-gen MBTs and 2 airborne are taken out. And that's going to be 2 more air battle stars for the Americans. All right, next up is the B-1 strike on the major army base in Romania. There were no ECM rolls required there, so the army base gets its 2 inherent SAM shots. Those missed with a pair of 8s. Here goes the strike. And that's going to be 6 damage. I think I might be able to just reach it with my range extender. So 6 damage there. Next, cruise missile strikes in the Canary Islands where they have no SAM, and the Azores where they do. So, Canary Islands, that's a miss. Missile defense in the Azores, misses. Cruise missile comes in for a hit. And as you know, the Americans have PGM, so that is a land target select. Just a second. Okay. Had to have a brief Article 15 hearing with the staff. Of course, they're going to target the SAM. Take that off there. All right, now we're coming up here. We're going to have carpet bombing in Murmansk. There's no way to intercept, no SAM, no air defenses. So here we go. And everything missed. They came very close with the 333s, but that won't get it done. Okay, so no joy there. Now we have the B-1 strike on the space launch facility in northern Russia. So here's their 2 shots. They both miss. So we've got 2d6 of nuclear hell. That's 9 on to the 8 they already had, and that's enough for destruction. 15 points of damage is required to destroy that. So, no more space launch facility for the Soviet. That is also, let's see. I don't think that counts as a base for battle stars, but that is going to be a facility destroyed by a nuke. So that pushes the fallout up to 77. There's the destruction. No more spy satellite for the Soviets unless they can build another one. And at this point of the game, that's that's actually impossible at this point in the game. There aren't enough turns left. So no more spy satellites for the Soviets. Okay, next we're going to do the Theater nuclear cruise missile into East Germany against that major army base. So here's their defense shots. They miss. That's 1d6. 2 damage. But it doesn't hardly seem worth the effort sometimes, but that stuff all adds up. Paraphrasing the old merchants, every point of damage counts. If that comes out of there, and 2 damage. Next, theater nuclear cruise missile in Hungary. No joy there, 11 and 7. Oh, 1 damage. Ah. All right, I'm going to mark these and go get them all at once. So that's 1 damage for Hungary. Now next we have the major airbase in Volgograd. 5 and 10 doesn't get it. Ooh, that's 6 damage. That's a big one. 6 in Volgograd. And then we've got the hit on the major army base in southern Caucasia. Here's their defense. Okay, that missile is shot down with a 2. So I need a 6 and a 1. Okay, here we go. 1 on the army base in Hungary. And 6 on the air base in Volgograd. Oh wait, there was another one. From the joint. No, we couldn't do that. Where was it from? 1, 2. Trying to remember where that missile was shooting from. Well, I don't think it could. I think that was a mistake. Never mind. I had 1 too many missiles on the board. All right, now we have a surgical strike into eastern Ukraine. The Soviets are going to roll missile defense. So, and they're not going to scramble these guys from Volgograd because they just don't really stand much of a chance. Okay, so 3 AMD shots. Yeah, 3 AMD shots. 1 missile is shot down. 2 missiles get through. Both miss. All right, so now we have two attack bombers at 4s. I see 2 hits. So they're going to take the paramilitary and one of the Marines. Okay, there's that one. And that might be it, other than the strategic. Let's have a look at the notes. Okay, we did all those. We did Azores, Romance, Russia, Eastern Ukraine, South Cooking, Hungary. I still don't know how that was supposed to happen. It wasn't. Okay, all we have left is the counter value strike. Back around here we go. As we said before, Warsaw Pact gets 5 shots of strategic defense, and they score 2 hits. 2 missiles are shot down, 3 get through. So that takes the 3 victory points away from Warsaw Pact. And that's 6 more, so this goes up to 83. And there we are. Right. Non-combat movement. This probably isn't going to matter. I mean, with the fallout of 83, I can't see this going another turn. But just as quick as I assume that, they'll roll 99 or 100, and it will go another turn. So we need to do our non-combat movement. So 2 MBTs from Hyderabad move up here to South Pakistan. A10 also moves to South Pakistan. Let's see, 2 next-gen MBTs from New Delhi move in here to North Pakistan. From the Amphib and I-6, we have an air cav that moves into South Pakistan. We've got two A-10s here in Ethiopia that fly 1-2 across the Red Sea there to Makkah. Got a next-gen MBT that sea lifts minor port to minor port into Makkah. We have a mech here in Kenya that sea lifts 1, 2 into Oman. The air cav on the amphib here in M8 will fly 1, 2 into Jordan to join his brother. And then we have an airborne over here in eastern Algeria that moves 1 into West Libya. That's it for non-combat movement. Now we are delivering, replacing units. Alright, so back over here. 2 MBTs to Hyderabad. 2 self-propelled artillery to New Delhi. An advanced ASF to Hyderabad. And the advisor was here to allow that to happen. An A-10 into New Delhi. A-10 times 2. Oh, no, that's not right. I got that backwards. Single A-10 into Hyderabad. 2 A-10s into New Delhi. Okay. SSN is being built down here in South Africa because of this pesky Soviet destroyer. And there is the other advisors present there to make that happen. Okay, then on our amphibs, we're building attack choppers this time. So there's one for the guy in I-6. Here's one for the guy in M8. And now we have an airborne and a fighter being built at home over here in Northeast United States. You know what? We can do an air redeploy because we don't need to keep that ASF in Great Lakes anymore because the Soviets are not going to have a spy satellite. So let's take this ASF and we're going to put him over here in Picardy. He air redeployed to there. All right. Recruitment role for Iran. Nope. Deliver aid. So the frigate is delivered to the minor shipyard there. We'll put him in port. And the advanced ASF is delivered to Picardy. Okay, that's everything delivered. And we collect money. The Americans are still at 65. And they picked up an extra 2 IPP of bonus this turn. So that gives them 8 bonus, so that's 73 is what they're collecting. 60, 70, and 3. They're adding 6 more IPP to their bank, or 6 more battle stars to their bank. And they got their missile production. I don't have it up there, but they, trust me, they've got it. Okay, that's the end of the American turn. Now we're going to get those magic dice out again and see what happens this time. As I said just a bit ago, we're looking for 83. $72. Well, that's it, folks. Escobar is done. So we come up here and we check the scoreboard and we see that it is 7 for the NATO alliance and 3 for the Warsaw Pact alliance. I think we would call that a 2-to-1 2-to-1 advantage. We could probably call that a significant victory. Better than marginal, maybe not quite, well, maybe not quite decisive. We'll call it a marginal victory. Okay, so here's how things ended up. As you see, the Americans, all that green, complete control in, I didn't do all my non-combat stuff, but again, it doesn't matter. Complete control here, of course, with the capture of Afghanistan, you know, they're knocking on the doorstep of Soviet home country. Again, here you look at, you just think of all of this as American, because as soon as they went to war, it would have been. So you got all this against this. I don't think that would have went very well for the Soviets. Get you in there a little closer where you can see what they had a little better. You got NATO banging on the door here, threatening to come into southern Caucasia or Tabriz, either one, and try to get the Soviets here in Iraq, maybe in a pincher move. I think they probably would have went for southern Caucasia, though, because that would have been worth victory points. You know, the Black Sea, NATO in complete control. Africa is all U.S. Soviets got drummed right out of there. Warsaw Pact never tried to fully exploit the Balkans. They had a mind to, but then things started happening in other places, and the production they were going to put down here to get into Yugoslavia had to go up to Germany. Which, I mean, really, Warsaw Pact did really good in Germany. I mean, they end the game holding all of West Germany. And NATO didn't have much sitting there to oppose them. This is what NATO ended the game with in Picardy. And that's not a hell of a lot. This is what Warsaw Pact had in Rhineland. It might have been a closer thing than I thought, but Warsaw Pact here in Europe has a lot more air than NATO does. Medium bombers, a good stack of attack bombers, fighters. If this went to turn 15, if this went to turn 15, oh, and I was wrong. That wasn't Picardy. That's the NATO forces in Benelux. Sorry about that. What they have in Picardy is on the board, which not very much. Let's see, if this would have went to turn 15, I got to say I think Picardy would have went down, and quite possibly Benelux as well. Picardy for sure, I think. Soviets held on to Scandinavia. They were chipping away at them, but they managed to hold Scandinavia. Probably the biggest embarrassment for the Soviet Politburo would be the destruction of the space launch facility in northern Russia, and the pending incursions into the southern republics. This one with some of the new rules was a lot of fun to play. There are some more changes that will be coming in my next game that are going to make things even better. More simplification, more streamlining, and some things that are just going to work better. They're going to be more intuitive. So let's take a final look at the tech chart. And the Americans, as you can see, I mean, they just complete dominance of technology, and they didn't build or upgrade any army bases. They did that which is 4 rolls per turn. The downside for them was this: 14 rolls, and they were only able to move AMD 1 stage. That's called getting diced really, really, really bad. But given the rest of this, how can they complain? All right, and then here's where we ended up on the income chart. But you got 105, 111 total for NATO alliance, and 68 for Warsaw Pact alliance total base income. The Soviets unusually stayed really low on income. They did not get the bonus that they normally do in a typical game. I mean, you've seen the videos. They rack up anywhere from 10 to 15, 20 IPP in bonus per turn. This game, they did not have that. They stayed right down at their base income, which never got very far above their starting income. That's part of the reason the Americans had so much success against them, is that the Soviets were just being outspent. Another reason was over here in South America. PRF really was not a factor in this game. The Americans had some lucky diplomacy rolls very early in the game, which pretty much closed off the ability of PRF to expand and try to cause mischief. They became, by turn 4, PRF was a non-factor. At that point, it was just a matter of a little bit of cleanup. And then, of course, all the American forces down here you saw were able to be moved elsewhere, primarily here to South Africa, which spelled the doom of Angola. And they marched on from there. So, that's going to do it for Operation Escobar. Thank you for watching. Ozark Outpost. Over and out.